Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live Magic Q&A with me, Madam Pamita, that meets every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 1 a.m. London time, Greenwich Mean Time, right?
That's right. That's right.
1 a.m. Oh my gosh. For all you night owls in Europe, you can come and watch us at 1 a.m. Oh, yeah. So drink some coffee before you need coffee, not tea. We record this as a live free Zoom meeting each Sunday and then post the recording later in the week, or later on, I should say. It used to be later in the week. Now I'm behind a little bit, but it's going to show up later on YouTube. And if you're watching a replay of this on YouTube and you want to get in to be in the Clubhouse live with us, there is a way to do it. And it's so easy to do. All you have to do is go to spellsquad.com, sign up, and you will get the link to join us in our Zoom session. You'll also get reminders every Sunday about an hour before our session, just to remind you and give you that link again, let you know who our guest is going to be and all of that. So you'll definitely want to go to spellsquad.com, sign up, be a member of the Spell Squad. You got to be a member to be in the Clubhouse, and this is the way for you to get that, is to sign up at spellsquad.com. In case you just stumbled on this and you don't know who I am Madam Pamita, and you can find me online at parlorofwonders.com. Parlor spelled in the British way because we're fancy like that over here. Parlour of wonders.com. That's where you'll find me, and that's where you'll find kind of the hub of all the information, the readings that I do, spell work, that I offer, and products that I sell, and lots of free lessons on how to do magic. You'll find that all over there. But you'll also find me on YouTube under /Madam Pamita, Instagram /Madam Pamita, and all the usual places, Facebook and all of that stuff. So you can find me over there. Couple things I want to point out is I have a new book coming out called The Book of Candle Magic, and it's going to be out in October, and you can pre-order that book on my site or any of your usual places, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all those places that you can order books. But two pieces of exciting news. Number one, I just found out 2 days ago that my book is going to be translated into Russian. So we're going to have an English version and we're going to have a Russian version. And that is very exciting because it is very unusual for book publishers in other countries to pick up a book before it comes out. Usually they wait, they kind of like sit back and they wait and see how it does in the original language. And then if they see it's doing really good, then they'll swoop in and do it. But they were so confident that this book is going to do well that they wanted to be the first ones in there. And this company, this Russian publisher, jumped on it and bought the rights to translate it into Russian. So I'm very, very excited about that. That is super, super exciting for me. The other piece of good news is that I'm really encouraging people to pre-order the book or order the book through their local retailer, like your little book, mom and pop bookstore. Almost every town has one. You have a metaphysical store, spiritual store, or a little small mom and pop bookstore. You can pre-order the book through them. And what that does is it does something really, really magical. Number one, it's like, how do you spend your dollars and what effect your dollars have? And we're going to be talking about dollars. So we're going to be talking about the magic of money today. But when you spend your money at a small mom and pop store, you shop small, you're actually supporting an individual or a family or somebody directly. You're not supporting a billionaire making more billions, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But it's also like, hey, don't forget about our mom and pop stores. Don't forget about these little stores. The reason we want to keep these little stores alive is because they offer a place when all of this quarantine is removed and Americans are able to travel again. They offer us a place to go and teach you classes live and in person. So we can meet together in person. I can offer you a class in person. We can do all of that because there are these little stores that offer that. So I encourage you to go to your local metaphysical bookstore. You don't have to even go. You can call them, you can send them an email, you can message them on whatever social media they're on, and let them know that you'd like to order a copy of the Book of Candle Magic. The other magical benefit of that is that it puts that book on this bookstore's radar. What they usually do is if someone pre-orders a book or special orders a book, it makes them look at it, and it probably will make them buy another copy for the store. So you're doubling the impact of your purchase when you do it that way. So it's a really, really powerful way to do it. And I'm really encouraging people to do that because it brings awareness to the book, and it really benefits the mom and pop store. It benefits the book because the book someone else can find that book too. And it's going to really open that up. And it also benefits that mom and pop store, and it benefits you. You're going to get an amazing book that's going to teach you all about candle magic. So there you go. So
I've ordered mine.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Yay, yay. And
Yes.
I think you've also, Joseph, you've been doing something really sweet, which is going around and talking up my books to the little magical bookstores in London. There's so many gorgeous
Of
magic bookstores
course.
that are, I mean, they're really, it is kind of like Diagon Alley. If you're
Yeah.
walking into like these magical little bookstores that are just dealing in magic, just dealing in this like esoteric stuff. And they're amazing. The bookstores that we went to the last time we were there, we were just having a ball. It was so
The
much fun.
one you and I went to, the Watkins one, is just heaven.
Oh
Heaven.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Watkins is amazing. Watkins is amazing. They had my book there. They had my tarot book there. And I hope that they get my, Candle Magic book there
They
too.
will.
I'm sure they will. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, so without further ado, let's talk. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Joseph and what he does, and how, you know, I guess we can talk a little bit about how we know each other and the work that we've done together, but we're going to talk about what you're working on right now, which I think is so exciting. It's really, really exciting. So Joseph and I met because we actually met professionally, that you were wanting to get a reading, and you got a reading and some root work advice from me. And you were already doing magic. You've been doing magic for many, many years, but you were finding that you were getting stuck, and you just sort of wanted to get like a second opinion about what to do. And as I recall, it was some money magic that we were working on.
Yeah, it was money
right?
magic.
Yeah. And so we did some work together, and it was amazing. And when we met, it was almost like love at first sight, that we just knew each other in a past life. I can just say confidently, we've known each other in past lives. And so we have then I came to you with, you know, after we'd been working together, I came to you with a business coaching question, and you transformed my business. Like, I say this so often when I refer people to you, how you totally transformed my business. I was really stuck. I was doing things that I didn't like to do, I didn't want to do. And you just gave me very direct, succinct, actionable things that transformed my business, an immediate transformation that happened with both me doing, I would say, being more in alignment with the work that I do, having an ease about the work that I do, like making things so much easier, and getting more of that enjoyable part and less of the drudgery in my work. So the work that you do as a coach and as a magical coach is so profoundly powerful. So I feel like we have this beautiful synergy where we're always helping and guiding one another as colleagues. And I just think I cannot sing your praises high enough to, you know, to people that are, in particular, when I have clients that come to me with business questions, or trying to make that transition from working for someone else to having their own business, people that have businesses, small businesses, and or trying to even have career coaching, where maybe they want to stay working for someone else, but they want to have a more satisfying career life. And I've had people go to you and come back to me and say, oh my God, isn't he amazing? And I'm like, yeah, he's amazing. I told you. So,
I feel exactly the same. I still remember you and I having dinner just down the road from my apartment, and you were like, put the tarot book away. You know how to read, just stop. Do you remember that? And I've never used the tarot book again. The one that tells you about the cards, obviously I have your one. And the other thing I remember is you saying about my magic, you were like, just have fun, stop being so serious. And because I'm Capricorn, I'm like, but I have to know how it works and how it does this. And you were like, Joseph, just have fun with it. It's going to be fine. And it's amazing, because that really changed my magical practice for myself.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. And I think we've been friends for years and years now. We call each other witch wife and witch husband. We
100%, yeah.
And we are just dear friends. So anyway, I'm so glad to bring you back on. You've been on the show before. When I was in London, we did a show, which was so much fun, when I was traveling around. We did it here. Yeah, we did it right there. And it was so much fun. And I'm glad to have you back. And we can talk in particular about prosperity magic. Now, you have some exciting news, because you've been doing coaching and like money, I guess, prosperity coaching and business coaching for many, many, many years now, and written books about it and done courses about it and one-on-one coaching with people. But you're going to be coming out with something new that you just are in the process of developing, and it's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, this is actually the first place I'm telling anyone about it, so I'm incredibly honored. Exclusive it is. So I've been doing business and money coaching programs since 2012. They're a very powerful combination of mindset coaching and practical business mentoring. So it's not just fluffy stuff, it's very practical things you can do. I've been feeling probably for the last few months, as I was telling you, my spirit guides kept saying to me, like, there's something coming, there's something coming. And I'm going to be coming out with MMS Academy. So it's going to be an online academy for spiritual entrepreneurs. It's going to be all of my work so far. There's loads of programs in there on money mindset, manifestation work, of course. Tons of business training on putting packages together, raising your fees, loads of stuff. And I'm so excited to be able to be offering this now.
Oh my gosh. And is it particularly for people that have spiritual businesses, or is it somebody that maybe has a business that's just a spiritual person? When you say spiritual,
Yeah, it's more lifestyle business. So coaches, consultants, healers, trainers, anyone who has a desire to help people. So most of my clients, I would say like 90% of my clients are in what I call the lifestyle business. They're a coach or they're a consultant of some kind. Most people come to me for like money mindset work, which is, it's a term that's thrown around a lot, but what I like to say to people is it's all about your relationship to money and how you allow it to come to you in your business. So people who want to get comfortable charging well, like we need to bust the myth that it's nice to undercharge or it's wrong to charge well for spiritual stuff. I like to really empower people with that. So healthy money mindset. And then tons of stuff really on how they can package their services in a way that actually helps their client in a big way and creates what I call mutual abundance. This was a huge one for me, mutual abundance. It's not about charge the client more or give the client more. You both benefit in a big way. So the client gets an excellent service from you, you get paid very well, and both of you come away very happy. So anyone really who wants lots of mindset work with tons of practical, I mean, there is a lot in there. We're about 90% finished putting it all together on the website, but there's something like, I'm not even kidding, there's like 10 courses within there. There's like 2 pages of bonus workshops and material. It's all of my work over the last few years around money and business.
well, it's, you know what, I think one of the things that I have to say about working with you is that beautiful Capricorn, I mean, how great to have a Capricorn do this kind of work. And you're a special
Right?
Capricorn. You're a very special person. And I don't think every Capricorn is going to have the skill that you have. But the thing that I get from it is that it's not just about like big concepts. It's actually detailed, actionable things that if you implement them, you see change, you see things improve. So it's an amazing thing that you're offering that huge course and all of that's available, and that people will have access to all that knowledge, because each little chunk of that, I know is going to be so, it's like a gold mine. It's going to be so juicy. It's going to offer so much that they're going to have a total makeover, really a makeover of their business and their career, their solopreneur business, or whatever it is that they're doing. They're going to have that from that. I think of I think that in a lot of ways you could have like a very, I think that the people that can benefit from this are not just necessarily coaches and trainers and people who are doing that, but anybody, and like you said, healers and so on, or spiritual businesses, but really people who are, if you look at your business as a gift, whatever that is, maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a musician, maybe you are an accountant, maybe you have a real estate business. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of an offering that you're giving versus like, how can I make a quick buck? I think that person is going to be the ideal person to benefit from your training and to benefit from this work. I'm so excited to see this this academy come out, because it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be everything that you do is so good. So so what we're going to do is this is very exciting, you guys. So Clubhouse folks, Spell Squad, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and Joseph is going to be giving away a 5-minute kind of mini coaching, or giving you some little practical tidbit that's going to offer some actionable thing, I guess, because it's going to help you with your business or your career or money or something. So if you would like to be in that, we're going to have a little raffle, and we're going to have, like we do at the end, you know, we have a reading or something, but you're going to get a little mini coaching, which is so cool, like a less than 5 minute, you know, really to the point coaching. So you're going to have to be someone that's willing to come on and talk, because we're going to have to hear your voice, and you're going to have to present your situation. So that Joseph, yeah, that's so Joseph can do that. But if you want to be in the running for that, what's the emoji that they should put, Joseph?
I think they should put the sunglasses one.
Okay, so put the sunglasses. That would not have been the one I would expect, but okay. Cool guy. So put the sunglasses emoji, or put the word sunglasses. If you don't have the emojis handy, you can put the sunglasses, or put the word sunglasses, and you'll be in the drawing, okay? Yeah, people are like, sunglasses. All right, so, okay, so we're gonna get to your questions about money, about career, about business, about solopreneur, entrepreneur stuff, anything about that. We're going to look at that in terms of magic, and also the beautiful spiritual part of that, and also the practical part of that. So we'll look at it all. So let's look at some questions while people are typing in sunglasses. Let's put some questions
Love
in.
it.
So everyone's saying hello, hello. Okay. So this isn't actually related, but it is kind of related. It's kind of related, but I can see where it's related. So Nina asked the question, do you have any magical tips for teachers, which would apply to all kinds of teachers, including trainers and people that are coaching and things like that? You're teaching, you know, it's what you do, you're teaching. Do you have any magical tips for teachers? I'm starting early education soon, and I'm so nervous. So what would you, I guess the question is kind of like, what do you do to get over the nerves of being a presenter or a teacher or a trainer or coach, you know, when you're presenting in front of more than one person? Is there a magical solution?
Yeah. So, and this is something that you taught me about magic. Spells are also a mental process. It's not just about candle magic. So I'll give you, Nina, something that I found very helpful for me and with my clients as well. You have to take yourself out of it and focus on being of service to the people that you're teaching. So in a very practical way, I'll give you an example. I used to get very nervous talking in front of people because I was worried that they might judge me or what they might think. And as I did more and more work on myself, I realized that one of the most liberating things I could accept is perfection doesn't exist. So give yourself a complete break. Done is better than perfect. So get it done. Don't worry about being perfect. And in terms of a magical tip, pray to your spirit guides or ancestors, whoever you work with, and ask them to flow through you, to inspire what you're going to say and do. So before I do a coaching session, I will normally, if it's a corporate client, I won't obviously say this in the room, but if it's like a client that knows me quite well, I'll normally say, I'm just going to set the intention that this is a very powerful session for you, and that whatever comes through is for your highest good. So some kind of process like that before you go on, it takes yourself out of the equation and it makes it about the other person. And also a cool thing here is, you know, it's your spirit guides coming through you, so you don't have to worry about trying to impress or anything like that.
So beautiful. It's so perfect.
Thank you.
Exactly. You're being of service when you're a teacher. You're there, and whatever, I have to say that you may go, well, gosh, everybody knows what I'm about to say, but you've got, if you're, you know, teaching young children, they don't know, and they're going to also be, you know, so receptive to what you have to show them. But even if you're teaching adults, which can be very intimidating because you're like, oh my gosh, they know everything, and teaching people maybe that are more experienced than you, you're going to give them your perspective, and you're going to give them something new that they have never had before. On a kind of practical, magical level, I think something that's very, very helpful when we're about to enter into something, let's say going into a classroom or going into training or something like that, or online training. One of the things I love is smudging. And smudging yourself before you go in to kind of ground yourself. A beautiful smudge for that in particular, to calm, to smooth it over, to bring like healing and harmony, is purple sage. So purple sage is a calming. It's sometimes called lavender sage, but it's not lavender. Sometimes people think it's like, it's the lavender. No, it's purple sage. So the purple sage is very calming, very cleansing, and very empowering. It has that empowerment thing. So when you smudge yourself with purple sage before you go in to some place to teach, or you even go online and teach, it's going to give you that confidence and that power and that kind of peace, so that you go in with like, you're just being that clear channel, and you're not, the ego is what gets fearful about doing it. So it lets the ego kind of subside a little bit so that you can do that. And that'd be good. Good practice to do if you want to. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Anastasia has a question. Any money manifesting tips? Well, wait a minute. Any money manifesting tips for someone who wants to work for themselves? I think you got a million. We could spend the whole session.
Honey, just email me. Yeah, we have loads.
I have found that one of my biggest blocks is self-confidence. I'm currently working on that and realizing that money is just a form of energy that can be exchanged. So what do you have to say to that? Wait a minute. And there's more. Also, will raising one's vibration and changing habits to suit what they want help with, attracting energy to you?
I understand. I think I get it.
Okay.
So something that's coming through quite strongly right now is the things that are normal for you and really obvious, okay, are life-changing to the people who need to hear them when they're presented with confidence and packaged in a abundant way. So you really owning the fact that you have a unique set of skills, a unique set of experiences, a unique set of perspectives that are perfectly designed to create prosperity for you. Now, this doesn't sound like it's a manifesting tip, but it is. Because when you really own your brilliance and you own your, what I call deservability, that's when money can flow. You know, it's not just about what color candle you like, because the truth is, if your mindset isn't in the right place, even if money is like knocking on that door, you're going to keep it locked because you're like, you know, I need to do X, Y, Z first. The first thing is really owning that you have everything you need within you to start creating wealth now. In terms of manifesting, there's two things that will be really helpful. So one is set what I call powerful money goals. So rather than just saying, I want prosperity, get clear on how much you want a month. And give yourself permission to be honest with yourself. Don't just say enough to get by. Honey, we're all over that. Like, just be, you know, think of a number that feels really exciting. And then the second thing is identify what belief about yourself you need to have. Not that you want to get rid of, that you want to have. So let's say your goal was to manifest 5,000 a month to begin with. You would need to believe that it's easy for me to achieve my money goals. The minute you start getting that moving in your mindset, you're going to behave a different way. You're really going to attract different opportunities, right? Like we attract based on our mindset. Those two things, those several things should be really helpful for you to begin with. Start owning the fact that you are already in the right place to create wealth.
Perfect. I love it. I think you hit on something very important, which is, you kind of touched on it a little bit, which is that any kind of magic that you do, a candle or whatever, candle spell, I'm going to light this candle for prosperity, but it's not going to work. You're right. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're absolutely 100% right. You have to be in the place of always having that vision and expectation that the work that you do, whether it's a candle spell or whether it's getting in there and cleaning out your desk drawer, is going to produce a certain positive result. So it's not the lust for results, which can also be that, like, why isn't it happening problem? You know, I did this candle spell. Why am I not getting money right away today?
Now.
Exactly. That can be, that lust for results can also be damaging, because you're then going, if I didn't get it right now, then it didn't work. So you want to get into that place, and you touched on that. It's like no candle spell will work if you don't have the right mindset, and the right mindset is the foundation. It's the first step in any manifestation process, which is the conceptual stuff, that you get into the place where you go, it is possible for me. I can do it. I will have it. So I think that's so important as a foundational thing. And you're right. No money, no green candle, no alfalfa, no blue flag root is going to help your prosperity if you do not believe that you have a channel for that to come to you. So yeah, absolutely. All right. So Nirvania has a question. I am an independent contractor and an artist. So with the pandemic, both of my businesses are suffering, and PUA unemployment is being really complex to get. Any workings you suggest?
I assume that is that government assistance?
I guess so. Okay. I don't know what PUA unemployment is.
Let's assume it's that. I think it's probably something like that.
Yeah.
First of all, I love that we say freelancer, but contractor, I get what you mean. I was a contractor for about 10 years in PR, so I know that world very well. In terms of workings, I'd like to give you two pieces of coaching. One would be magical, and the other will be practical coaching. In terms of magical work, the first thing I'm being called to suggest you do is stop watching anything that counteracts what you want to be true. So the news, whilst it can be helpful, it can be very scary, especially at this time when it comes to economic stuff. So try to protect your, Pamita, you told me this, do you remember? You said, keep your psychic health, at a certain level. So try and avoid watching anything that can be scary. But in terms of a working, it's new moon tomorrow, I think, right? Is it new moon tomorrow?
The 21st, I think. It's going to be tomorrow for you, but it's early in the morning for us. So it's
perfect.
The day after.
So I would do something on a new moon, but with new moon energy. And I would think about wiping the slate clean with what may have happened. And I would get really clear on what you want the next month to bring you, and really understand that things can happen in the most miraculous way, right? It's not just about what has happened, it's about what can happen. So just choose to step into that mindset of, no matter what's going on, I'm affirming with the power of the new moon, this new month is extremely prosperous for me in ways that are meaningful for me. I always add that onto my spell work. I either say in ways that make me happy, because then it doesn't matter how it comes, right? You like it, or in ways that are meaningful for me. In terms of some practical stuff, do feel free, by the way, to anybody watching to send me a message, or if you'd like to talk about the academy or coaching, but think about what you're doing and how you can adapt it to the current situation. So a big thing at the moment in the UK, people are doing things like art gallery viewings online. They're doing art shows online. They're taking a lot of things online. That can be helpful. Also, I would suggest going into some kind of advising. Like, chances are, if you've been a freelancer, you'll have lots of experience. You could turn into material that could be helpful for other people. And possibly something for your community, right? Like, if you know lots of other freelancers in the same position, you could think about offering some kind of guidance to them. That just came through quite strongly, so I think that might be very helpful for you.
This is like a beautiful question about how to get in flow, like how to get in flow. I mean, we think about that concept that money is energy flowing, right? So when you start to think about money as an energy flow, it takes away the intimidating factor about money, right? We think about energy flow. As an energy can flow, it can only flow so, like with electricity, there's I don't know how electricity works. That's a bad example. Let's talk about water, because I understand water. I'm like, I was about to get into ohms and amps, and I don't know how that works. So I'm not going to go there. But with water, I understand how water flows, right? Yeah. So if you want a lot of water to flow something, what do you do? What do you do, Joseph, if you want a lot of water to flow from one place to another? Do you have a little pipe or a big pipe?
You have a big pipe.
You have a big pipe, right?
And you turn the tap on.
And you turn that big tap on to get that water flowing. And if you have a big pipe, you're going to get a lot of water. Now, what happens with that big pipe? if it starts filling with rust and crud and barnacles and things like that, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the water will start to trickle through, right? It won't go through as fast. So I say that with any kind of money prosperity work, that what you want to do is keep your flow open on both ends.
Yeah.
Meaning, it doesn't matter if you have a big pipe bringing you lots of money. If it's trickling out the other end, it's going to back up and you're not going to get the flow. The flow demands that we have an open inflow and outflow. So you cannot simultaneously be attracting a bunch of money and be fearful about money going out. You have to be grateful on both ends. That keeps your pipe open. So when money comes in, no matter how little, if you find a penny in the street, you want to do a gratitude prayer or some kind of appreciation or some kind of acknowledgement of abundance flows to me. Whenever I find a penny on the street or coin on the street, I always pick it up, heads or tails, I pick it up, and I always say, abundance flows to me easily. I just got free money today for doing nothing except for bending over and picking up. I don't sit there and go, well, it's only a penny. That sucks. It's only a penny. I don't put negative energy around that money flowing to me, that tiny bit of money flowing to me freely, because I want to invite money to come to me. I want to welcome it, right? So even the smallest amount, I'm going to welcome because I want to keep my pipe of inflow very, very open. Now, let's talk about the other end, money going out. You want to be in a place of gratitude and appreciation for the money going out. When you pay your bills, you can sit there and curse the fact that you pay bills, as most people do, which is not great magic, I have to say. Or you can go, wow, because I'm paying my electrical bill, I got all that electricity that allowed me to work on my laptop and made light in my home and kept my refrigerator running. I want to be grateful for what I received for that bill that I'm paying. And when I keep that end of the pipe nice and clean, guess what? I have a nice big pipe, very, very clean, that money can flow through me, that energy can flow through me, to me and away from me very, very easily in a way that keeps it flowing, right? Keeps it going. So that's the way, in a sort of conceptual mindset way, you know, we talk about, Joseph is talking about mindset. You want to keep that. Now you can do an altar about prosperity. You can do that. And for your job, you want to keep that in particular for that contractor, artist, freelance work that you're doing. You want those jobs to flow to you easily. So every little job that comes to you, you are saying a prayer of gratitude and thanks. It may be a little job. It may be a little amount of money, but we don't want to go, well, that sucks. It's only little. Because then what are you doing? You're closing that pipeline down so that only a little can come to you. We want to keep it open and expansive. So you don't curse the amount that's coming in or going out. You bless it each end. So when you get a job coming in, you can take that paycheck when they pay you, or even your unemployment check. You can put that on there on the altar and say gratitude, a prayer of gratitude for that. If you're having problems getting unemployment, you want to invite that unemployment to come in. So you're going to be grateful for the things that come to you. And sometimes they're not monetary things, by the way. Your friend comes over with a casserole, so you don't have to go to the grocery store and spend money at the grocery. That is abundance coming to you. And so you say a prayer or an intention or an affirmation of gratitude for everything that is covering your butt during a very stressful time. Okay? Hopefully that helps. You have anything to add to that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really beautiful what you said. So I was reminded actually, this previous week, I recorded 2 new trainings for MMS Academy, all about money mindset and what I call normalizing having money. So this is going to work really nicely on a magical level and in a very practical, coachy way, because that's what we love, right? So when we're in a state of lack, and everybody at every level goes into lack. It's not about how much you have in the bank, I promise. When you go into that tight energy, a part of the mind will say things like, well, I feel better when I had money. Or when I have money, I'm going to make this up now. I'll get a cleaner, or I'll go for a coffee, or I'll do X, Y, Z. You're keeping what you want away from you when you think like that. So you want to normalize the feeling of having money now. Do as many little things as you can in your daily life to feel like you have money now. It could be having a lovely bath. It could be going out for a coffee with a friend. It could be outsourcing, getting a cleaner, or getting an assistant, whatever's meaningful for you. Without speaking to you privately, I don't obviously know the situation, but normalize having money. So normalize doing things as if you already have money now. That will help with the flow as well. You don't want to don't keep it in something where it's like, when I get that job, I'll feel better because then I can do X, Y, Z. Find ways to bring in your ideal life now.
I think another thing too, you know, talking about that, there's so much to talk about with this when someone is in a place where they're fearful and worried. If you can't get to a place where you start to feel appreciative, grateful, having a sense of gratitude about money, then think about the things that you can feel grateful for. So if you're out of work, you can go for a walk. You have, you can go, you can relax. You can read a book. You can do things that you didn't have time for when you were working like so hard. So do those things and be appreciative for those things. If you can't get into that open energy around money in particular, like that's a baby step, a bridge step to get you there. So if you go for a walk, for example, and you're out in nature, which is such a lovely and healing and beautiful thing to do anyway, wear your mask though, but go out. Don't be like Madonna. We were laughing.
Wear your mask, people.
Joseph and I were laughing because there's a picture of Madonna in a car. I'm like, she has no mask on. I'm like, wear your mask, you crazy lady. So anyway, if you go out and take a walk, when you go out there, appreciate the fact that you can go for a walk, appreciate something in your life. So if you can't yet get there with the money thing, start with the appreciation of what you do have, not looking at what you don't have. Then you can start appreciating the money that you do have, or the income that you do have, or the assistance that you have that's coming to you. And then you can get to that place where you can start to vision your business. See, where you really want to get to is not just getting the job, but actually what Joseph is about, like what you are about, Joseph, is like the idea that you can not just have the job, but that you can actually have a job that is your right livelihood, that you feel like you're empowered, you feel like you are doing something that you love, you're getting paid for doing what you love. That's really the ultimate goal. So this getting the job is a stepping stone, but only a stepping stone to get you actually to that place where you're doing stuff that you love. You know, you're making art, you're doing, you know, you're writing, or you're doing this or doing that, and you're doing something that you're really passionate about. So, and getting paid for it too. Alrighty, so let me go through all the sunglasses, everybody. So if you want to be in the drawing, put the word sunglasses or the cool sunglass emoji, happy face. We're gonna have a mini coaching at the end today. So Tanya has a question. Tanya has a good question. Cool. What should I do if I did cleansing baths and money drawing baths and nothing seems to manifest for me?
Tanya, I want you to do a self-praise ritual. Something that's coming through quite strongly right now is you said nothing's happening. Get out of that energy of like nothing's happening. You know, when you want someone to text you, they never do. It's bloody annoying, but they don't, right? So when you want the text to come through, it never comes through. So give yourself a break. You're doing amazingly, okay? You've already put magic out there. You've planted those seeds. So just know that they are growing. Get into the energy of self-praise. When you praise something, it grows. When you give gratitude to something, it grows, it expands. So you can say something like, I'm so proud of myself for doing that prosperity work. I'm so proud of myself for tidying up, whatever you did that you want to praise yourself for. Get into that feeling of like self-gratitude, because I'm picking up on an energy of like, I've done this, why isn't it here? It's not good enough yet. Let where you're at right now have some energy of gratitude and praise, because when you start doing that, that's when the text will come through. That's when the money will flow. And it's not even that spiritual. This is quite a practical thing. Your mind won't be as clear and open to ideas as it could be when you're pressuring yourself. You know, like when you try and remember the name of something and you go, oh, what's that name? And then you'll be having dinner and it's like, oh, it's, you know, that name. That's what it's like with magic. I think when we push too hard, we block. So I would do some self-praise. That's coming through quite strongly. So write yourself a list. I give this to a lot of clients because it's a really beautiful thing to get into. Create like a list of say 10 to 20 things you're very proud of yourself for. Go over them, meditate on them, really like let that energy just radiate all over you. I'm so proud of myself for, not like I'm proud, I'm so proud. Just shower yourself with praise. That will really help. And also make sure you're backing up your spell work with really practical steps. So I always say in some of my courses where I mention magic, I can't in all of them because some corporate agencies will join them and I'm like, eek. I always say magic works through you, not for you, not just for you. So you have to also take some steps as well.
I love that advice. It's such a beautiful thing to say an affirmation, to look at yourself in the mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and say an affirmation of what it is that you kind of like your aspiration. So a very, very powerful thing when someone is trying to make a leap, for example, from, let's say from some kind of job where they're working from somewhere else for someone else, and they're wanting to get into a freelance or some kind of individual kind of work. Let's say you wanted to be an artist, you know, that you wanted to be paid for being an artist. There's something very, very powerful of looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at yourself in the eyes and telling yourself, I am an artist. So whether you are wanting to be like, have a job, or you're wanting to, you know, to be self-employed, or to have, just to have money flow to you, to say that to yourself, in addition to that, like the self-praise will get you to the place where you feel confident enough to be able to say, I am an artist, I am a writer, I am a teacher, I am a whatever it is you fill in the blank. You will not feel it if you don't feel that confidence that is the foundation of all that. So what Joseph says, absolutely right. Like you need to get into that place of feeling the sense of deserving of having it. I deserve to have it. And then I would also add this. It's kind of like what we talked about before. Acknowledge the little bits that come in. Because when you start acknowledging, appreciating, having gratitude for the little things that are coming to you, bigger things will come. It'll snowball. You'll get more and more and more and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we never go, well, gosh, I only found a penny on the street. That sucks. What am I going to do with a penny? No. You sit there, you go, wow, that's free money coming to me. More, please. Ask the universe for more, please, and do that. So I think that there's a kind of a reframing of how you're looking at things, that there's a slight shift that's going to have a profound effect. It starts with that, though, you know, really praising yourself and believing yourself to be lovable, worthy, and worthy of having the abundance. Because if you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it, right? You know?
Absolutely. It's about, you know, I think with affirmations as well, something I found really powerful, and I include this stuff in a lot of my courses, is when you're using affirmations or mindset work, in order for it to be effective, it has to change your sense of self and your sense of the world around you. So if saying I have money doesn't work for you, if you can't seem to believe that that's true, what I use is I have become a person who. So you're kind of saying it as if it's already happened. It's not a big deal. So I've become a person who makes fabulous money. And you say it like in a playful way. I'm a person I've become a person who makes fabulous money. Just use words like fabulous, ease, abundance. Don't be tight with affirmations. I have money now. It's like, no, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we're almost getting close to the top of the hour. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a question and you're going to take that question. And while you're asking that question, I'm going to count how many people are wanting to be in the raffle for the mini coaching. And so then I'm going to have a number, and then I'm going to have you pick a number. Okay. So the next question. So you're going to answer the question. I'm going to be over here frantically looking. So that's why I'm looking off to the side. That's why I'm explaining that. So I'm going to be counting that. So you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is answer this question. I have something that I want to add to this question too, but I want you to take it, of course, first. So Bruce wants to know,
hi, Bruce.
Does one create a block from receiving a lot of money? So are you blocking your receiving of a lot of money if one believes that most rich people are either workaholics or crooks? Does your conception of wealth or your conception of people who are wealthy help, hinder, block, or anything your own money flowing to you? Okay.
Bruce, amazing question. Yes, it absolutely does. So a lot of the coaching I do with my clients is around how they see themselves and others in relation to money. So I did some trainings on this as well last week for MMS Academy on money shame and money guilt. Now, those are two quite heavy sounding things. Let me be blunt. Everybody to an extent has money judgment in some way. So if you believe rich people are workaholics, what you're saying to the universe is, I can't be that because I don't want to be a workaholic. So you're going to subconsciously and energetically block yourself from receiving it. Do you have to work hard? Yes. Do you have to be a workaholic? No. You can make fabulous money whilst having fun. Truthfully, I don't see my career as a job. I love my clients. I have incredible people I work with. I work very hard, but I'm not a workaholic. So what I would do is start to really look at how you can change your money story. You can feel free to email me or DM me if you'd like some information on my courses or coaching. But I would really start playing with the idea that you have the right to change your story if it's not working for you anymore. So instead, try believing I have the right to create abundance on my terms.
I think this is such a great question too. I love this question because it applies not only just to money, but anything. Because if you're holding something in a negative light, it's not that it's blocking you per se, but it's like walking into a pitch black room where you can't see anything. And if you can't see the thing, how can you get there, right? So I look at this a lot of times that I'm coaching clients. I'm reading for clients, doing a session. I'm coaching them too. But people do this. People do this with money, and they do it with love. Oh, I want a relationship, but every relationship I see out there, they're just cheating on each other, or they're terrible people, or they're unhappy, or every rich person out there is a jerk who's ripping people off, and that's how they got rich. If that's all you see, then it's going to be hard for you to get to that thing because you have no role models, right? Where's your role model? So if that is your mindset, or if that is what you're conceptualizing, then I challenge you to find the person who is wealthy and abundant and is kind and giving and generous and doing good in the world. Find the person you want to be, because no one is going to go, look at that terrible person, I want to be that person. Who does that? Nobody. Nobody.
We hope, right?
Nobody. You never look at someone as a role model because you hate them. If you do, you're a crazy sociopath.
If you do that, I have a great therapist number I'll give you. But you know, exactly. Something that used to come through for me a lot when I started a lot of my own transformation was the phrase, you cannot experience what you condemn. So if you look at rich people and you say they're dishonest or they're greedy or whatever, you're basically blocking yourself from ever having money. Same thing, like you said, with relationships, right? People will, I mean, I don't coach on relationships, but when it will come up, sometimes I'll notice a connection. They'll say, you know, all relationships are this. And then you think, well, how can you experience it if you're condemning it? You can't then. So just play with your self-talk. If you believe, and thank you, by the way, for being so open about that belief. We all have them to some level, but the fun thing is you get to change them. So, you know, play with the idea that actually you can be a workaholic and poor as well. You know, it's nothing to do with being rich. You can also be rich and chill. Play with it. Have fun.
I think that, you know, I think this is a really relevant thing for Americans right now, because we have in our face constantly on the news, people who are wealthy and who are doing dastardly, horrible, horrific things. You know, we see people abusing people or using their money and corruption and all kinds of things that for Americans, it's very shocking, because I don't think we had that concept even 5 years ago. We didn't really see that it is so in our face right now. Yes, we're not saying that those people out there doing dastardly things don't exist, or that it's not real, or that they're really good. We're not saying that. There are people doing horrible, horrible things, but those are not the only people who have wealth. They're just the ones that are in our face all the time now, because they're in the news all the time now. So you're going to have to do a little work to find people who are wealthy and who are doing good things. Look for your role models. Look for role models. You don't have to be, unless you're an Aquarian, and then you don't need role models, but everyone else in the zodiac, you do need to have role models. And what we want to do is we want to look for those models that we can say, I want that. I want that. I want to be that person when I grow up. I want to be that person. I want to attract my abundance and my wealth, but I'm going to be like that person. I'm going to be doing good in the world and donating. Unfortunately, our damn news out there is not showing us the people who are doing good in the world. So it's not in your face all the time. So you're going to have to do some homework to find that. But once you find that person, you go, gosh, that's what I want to be. That person who creates wealth but brings people up with them, or that person who creates wealth and then distributes it and creates good change in the world, who does good things with their money. So you've got some work cut out for you, because it's not in your face. Only the evildoers are in our face right now, but there are people out there that are wealthy, that have money, that have abundance, and didn't have to be jerks to get that, or didn't have to be workaholics to get that. And that's your work, to find those role models. Because once you find that role model, you can be like, that's my path. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get. And then it feels very, very open, because you can see there's a way to get there. All right. So we're going to pick a number between 1 and 18. Joseph is going to pick the number between 1 and 18, who's going to be the person who's going to come on, tell a little bit about what your money, career, business situation is, and he's going to give a little mini coaching. So what number?
12.
Okay, so let me get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Bruce, who we just answered the question for. Bruce, I'm going to bring you on.
Amazing. Love that timing.
Yeah. Okay, Bruce, you're allowed to talk now. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Joseph. Hi, Madam.
Bruce.
Hi. First I want to say I've been going to these sessions, I don't know, 6 weeks, and you answer my questions fabulously. So it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking these wonderful questions. So do you have a money, career, business situation? You want to tell us briefly?
I feel the last few years, I feel like I was a freelance writer, and but the last 4 years has been involved with me relocating from New York City to upstate New York, and that's taken all of my energy. I'm still doing that. And I decided, well, I never want to work in an office situation again, and I only want to work for myself, and I only want to do my own creative projects. So that may not happen in my mind. I feel like a pension is going to happen starting this December, thanks to an office job that was horrible, that I endured to get a pension. But I still want to my lifelong dream was to make a very good living, but with total creative control, to the best possible way, and not be, just constantly compromising my work in that capacity. But my question is that I'm not really sure I can find a pathway at this point. And with COVID coming on with this, it really put a damper on it, because I was about to create a web series with various actors, and that's sort of on hold because of this. My next idea is a podcast, but I just want to know about pathways to creative success, particularly in this pandemic era.
Okay.
Amazing question. Thank you for sharing that. So I have a question. What does ease look like for you right now? What would an easy step look like for you?
I think at this point, because I've done a lot of writing, writing is hard, let's be honest. And so a podcast would have less writing and more improvisation, the way I'm conceiving it. So that seems easy and natural, and I have a partner that I want to do it with, and it's going to be semi-autobiographical. So I feel that's therapeutic and easy, but I don't know whether, there are a billion podcasts. I don't know how that's a pathway to make money. So that sort of is maybe what I'm focusing my question to you about.
Yeah, so I guess this isn't particularly coachy, but to give you with some very practical feedback, my podcast was one of the most lucrative things I ever did. I always was very good in business, and I was always very good at being successful, but the podcast I did, that was incredibly good for business and income. Something else I'll say is, it's not about that there might be 10 million or a billion podcasts, but there's only one you. So your own unique style will come through in what you do. your unique take on things. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. None of us can come up with something no one's ever said before. I mean, it would be great, but it's not realistic. So I would just own the fact that, like we said in the beginning of the session, you already have your own unique set of experiences and perspectives and talents that are perfectly designed to create prosperity for you. So it's about really owning that and kind of getting clear on like what you want your brand to be. Something I do with my private coaching clients a lot is I'll say to them, what do you want your brand to be? Like, where do you want to be in the market? What do you want your kind of tone to be? A lot of my work is quite cheeky, then it's very practical. So just get clear on that as well. Like, what do you want your tone to be? Because it's not about trying to be like everybody else. It's actually about playing up all of the things that make you unique.
How much marketing and promotion did you have to do, if any, with your podcast?
I'm going to give you the honest answer, not the answer I think I should give you. I think I should give you this whole thing like I came up with this big plan, but I can't. I did very little. I already had quite a big following from private clients and people I was working with online that had taken courses. When I started my podcast, I did what's called a soft launch. So I started it very quietly, and I just started sending episodes to clients like, oh, I thought you might like this session. It covers what we did in your coaching session today. And then once it got to a certain point, that's when I started to post it on Instagram, include it in newsletters. I did a lot of publicity last year in London on different business and mindset websites, and they put links in. But truthfully, I didn't do that much.
So I'm guessing, because I don't have a fan base, the secret for me, or the key for me, would be to have guests on who do have a fan base.
Possibly. I mean, can you tell me, like, what would you want your podcast to be about? What do they get from listening?
That's a good thing. I don't know how informational it's going to be. The concept is how important pop culture, how important the mediums in which we receive pop culture is important to our experience of popular culture. So people talk about music and movies and theater, but they never talk about the theater that they saw the theater in, or the theater they saw the movies in, or the format that they hear the music in terms of how they first experienced it. And the point of my show would be about how that's so intrinsic to our appreciation of art.
I think it sounds incredible, but what I would possibly try and think about putting it into the listener's sort of tone. So in words that they would understand, like when they're scrolling through things, what do they clearly get? So mine is called Money, Mindset and Strategy, because people tend to search money mindset or business or income stuff. I would try and think, what do they clearly get from listening? You can still get all that across, but it could be something like, you could do something on like finding out what your experience really meant, or, getting to the core of why you're attracted to things you are, something like that.
That's brilliant. No, that's brilliant. I get what you're saying, that it's a service ultimately. Yeah,
it is. And it's also about, I'm going to try not to swear, but I might forget to, but something I did in a program about 5 years ago was, I came up with like an abbreviation with them, what's in it for me. So to put it very bluntly, people do not care about our opinions. They care what they get from our opinion. Right. So sometimes I have to do this with myself. I want to do this like massive thing on like what I'm feeling. And I remember people don't care. What they want to know is, what do they get from listening? So they're busy. What do they get from the show? So I love how you said, no one ever talks about the actual theatre they saw the play in. That would be quite hard to like convince people to write about or subscribe to. What you could do is flip that. So you could say, in this series, we unpack popular culture and delve into what it really means and what we can all learn about ourselves from it. Something like that. It's 1:30, it's 2 a.m. here, so forgive me if I'm not being super sharp. But I'm here for you guys. But I would try and make sure that, because you can still get across all that stuff, but I would make sure that you put it in a way that's really, like with Madame Pamita's podcast, it's amazing, by the way, but it's obvious that you would subscribe to it because you want to know about Magick. So I would do that. In terms of getting guests on, that can be a very good strategy for sure. But I would start with this. I would start with, I mean, feel free to message me, by the way, if you want any tips and stuff, but I would definitely start with trying to make sure it's very clear what people get from it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Bruce. One of the things
you.
that I'm going to, sorry, let me get this. I think I can, oh, I don't know how this works. Anyway.
I don't know how Zoom works.
I think he's, okay, you're muted, Bruce. You're not, I don't know how, sometimes I don't know how Zoom works. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to say was that Joseph does this thing where he is putting out podcasts. He's very rigorous, and you put out one a week. I don't know, you are doing them very, very often, sometimes more than one a week, right?
I do about a podcast a week, and I do audios for my private clients, and I do classes for the academy. But
so,
for podcasts, it's about, once a week.
Yeah, so the consistency of having lots of information is lots of avenues for people to find you, because they may find you by doing a search for something, and that brings them into your world. So that's another part of it. You can't be so precious about your thing that you're only doing one every month or one every 6 months, because that's fewer avenues for people to find you, I think, on those things. Now, one of the things I wanted to tell people before we sign off is that you have made a very, very generous offer that if you were one of the people that put sunglasses, or you would like to have a mini consultation with you, do you want to take that away and say what you're going to do?
Yes. Just very quickly to add to what we were just saying, because I know we're over time. I'm loving this, by the way. I want to keep going. Is when it comes to the content stuff and releasing rigidity around it, try and play with the idea that very often, you could say one thing in a title or a show note or a theme for a show that could get someone's attention, and then they go back and they listen to all the other episodes. So I call it the Netflix strategy. You create a body of work that people can then binge on, right? So they find your podcast. Like, I get messages all the time where people have found me and they're like, oh, I did a money mindset binge, healthy binge. So you want to create like different themes within your library of work. So if you've enjoyed the session, which I hope you have, I've loved being here, and you'd like to chat with me and just, get some quick laser coaching, you can email coaching@moneymindsetstrategy.com. You can DM me on Instagram, josephjames_official. If you'd like to talk about private coaching or mentoring with me, or you'd like to join MMS Academy, this is the first place I've announced that, you can also send me a message and I'll send you over some information. And yeah, just thank you all for being here.
So you're Joseph at moneymindsetandstrategy.com?
No, it's coaching at
coaching.
moneymindsetstrategy. Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to put it down. I wanted to put it down for everybody. Oh, I'm such an old grandma. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Got it there. So you got the link, you guys, to his site, and you got the link to his email. You can pop in, shoot a quick question to you there, or something you can have a little mini conversation, I'll say, about
Absolutely.
your situation, and see if you're a good match. That person might be a good match for you, or you might say like, oh, well, this is something that, isn't really in my wheelhouse, or not, I think you'd benefit from doing something else. So this is so generous of you and so lovely. I just love that. And so, so they're going to go to moneymindsetandstrategy.com. I went over to check out your site. It's being constructed as we speak. And so in a week or two, and they can sign up for email list so that they can get notified when it goes live.
The best thing to do, it's not the most amazing timing, because I've hired an agency to redo all the website and stuff. You know what all that means.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest, if you want to keep in touch with me, subscribe to my podcast, Money Mindset and Strategy. Send me a message if you'd like updates or information on joining MMS Academy. I would highly recommend you get in touch. I'm not going to be doing single courses for a very long time. It's going to be all in the academy. There's so much training in there about all this stuff. And just say hi. Let me know what you liked about the session. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm very happy to chat with people and help. There's no pressure. Obviously, if you do want to talk about working together, I do have a few slots available. But yeah, just if you want to be on the newsletter list and stuff like that, drop me a message and I'll add you in. I think you have to legally here. I think you have to say I'm agreeing to be on your list or something.
Opt in. Yeah, you have to opt in.
Opt in, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Spell Squad, for being here. Thank you, Joseph. Oh my gosh, I adore you and I love you. I can't wait to see you again. I haven't seen you for a whole year, more than a whole year. Oh my
Can
God.
you believe it's been over a year now?
I know. So when we're allowed to leave the country
I know you
again.
can't come here yet, can you? You still can't travel here.
Oh
I'm so sorry about that. It's inappropriate.
I said, my little joke that I say, oh my gosh, I'm getting very political. My little joke that I say is, remember when Trump said that Mexico was going to build a wall? I'm like, Mexico is going to build a wall and pay for it because they're going to want to keep us German Americans out. So,
it's fine. I'll send a plane. We'll get you guys over to Ibiza.
Smuggle me out somehow.
Yes, I'll smuggle you out. It'll be like a tarot and smuggling fiasco. I don't know what I'm saying. It's 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m. for you. I love you so much. I love you guys in the Spell Squad
I
so
love you
much.
too,
Thank you so much for coming here and joining us in our fun little party here that we have here every week. Next week, my guest is an amazing guest. Next week, I got two. This is like the trifecta of amazing guests. First we have Joseph James, who's my dear friend, amazing coach. You're the first one up at bat that smashes a home run. Now we're going to have 2 more home runs. Next week, we have Krista Lynn, who is a shamanic practitioner. She's my shaman. This is my shaman that I'm bringing here. She's my teacher and my shaman. I love her and adore her. She's amazing. So we're going to have her next week. And then just out today, we just nailed down the date today. The 3rd week, so 2 weeks from today, Delta Work from RuPaul's Drag Race is going to be my guest, which is a magical story of itself of how I met Delta Work and how we got together. And we're going to talk about spirituality and we're going to talk about that. So we have 2 amazing shows coming up over the next 2 weeks. So tell your friends, be here for sure. I love you guys so much. And thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you next week. Bye, Joseph. I'll talk to you about Madonna. I'm sure many times.
I'll DM you right now.
All right.
Madonna Watch.
Madonna Watch 2020. That's what we're calling it.
Bye,
all right,
everyone.
you guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.